Hello, Guardians. And let's see. Let's just start off by saying Destiny has made some updates since the Taken King, and then, well, this is a video for those who have not bought the Taken King and are going to see what exactly is going on if they do not buy it. So, and I'm a day one adopter, so many of you who are like me are in the same predicament, where once the Taken King dropped, it was both good and bad outcomes. But before I get into that, I'll start with Destiny was a fun game to me. I always thought it was. I had a blast with it. It was cool. You know, when it came out, I expected more cutscenes and stuff like Halo, but I'm not even gonna. And that's what everybody says and everything. It is what it is, and and I'm more of a gameplay kind of guy anyway. So, and that's what I got out of it. It was fun. You know, it was just like Halo. Gunplay was great and everything else, and I got fun out of Destiny and multiplayer and the Crucible, and that. Besides the whole gambling part, which was kind of bullshit. Yes, Cryptarch, I'm looking at you. On a side note, there was an interview in Gameinformer on YouTube that you can watch, where Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy are talking about how Cryptarch is so popular. And it's like, dudes, he's not popular. He's more infamous. And infamous as in, like, switching engrams for the wrong stuff, like purple to blue engrams, or giving you armor pieces that are not for the character that you turned him in with, and like getting a Titan piece for a Titan that you never wanted to create or never want to use. So there's always that kind of stuff. So Cryptarch has always had a little bit of a nose for fucking people over. That's why he is infamous, not famous, or popular. He's not popular by any means. So anyway, let's get back to the odd spot we have all just been put in because of the Taken King. Yes. Now, first of all, we'll begin with the packaging of the Taken King, where if you want those like special armor shaders and the emotes and like the experience items that help boost your experience, you have to buy the Digital Collector's Edition or the Collector's Edition. Now, the flaw here is Destiny Year 1 players who who bought it day one and also paid the extra, I don't know, $40 to get the first two, spent the $100. They have the two expansions. So if you want the shaders and the emotes and those experience items, you have to buy them again. You have to buy the actual game and the two expansions again just for those. So, and this was brought up when was it Noseworthy? He was doing an interview. And then he said if he showed you the emotes, you would want to throw money at the screen. Like that. And then he went on to do, like, we're sorry, and we're, like, listening to our things, and I'm a little blunt and all that. It's like, didn't really help us here, man. I don't see anybody getting those shaders of the emotes without having to rebuy the entire game and all the DLC they already paid for. So there was that first critical misstep that everyone knows about who knows about Destiny. So where is my gripe in this? Because I didn't really drop off emotes and colors and all that anyway. So my gripe is with Destiny as it is now, because I was on the fence with buying the Taken King, because those last two expansions per se, that didn't really add much. I think they were secretly cut out by Activision. You know, they were like, we need more DLC to get money, and because we're the publisher, you will listen to us, fools. And then they were forced to do it. Tacky. So what happened now? So what happened in Destiny now? Well, there's the whole improvements on the leveling system and items and things. Although for year one people who like turned on Destiny that week where everyone got it, or that free preview thing that everyone got, where it's like, crap, my armor's weaker, everything's weaker, and all that, and it makes you feel like everything you did in your year one was pointless. Kind of sad. So year one? So for those who haven't bought the Taken King, I'll start off by reading what is on the Bungie website. Now, if you go to Bungie's website in Destiny and you go to help, and then you find top issues, and then under top issues you go, how is Destiny changing if I don't purchase Destiny the Taken King? This is from Bungie themselves. You see here. On September 15th, 2015, Destiny, the Taken King, will be released. Players are not required to purchase Destiny, the Taken King in order to continue playing. However, there are certain aspects of the game that are tied to Destiny being a living world, where certain portions of the game will advance and contain new content. Duh. Below is a list of changes that will affect Destiny players who do not have access to Destiny, the Taken King, on their account. Here it comes. Character level is set to a maximum of 34. That's right, level 40, unattainable unless you buy Taken King. Strikes and raid activities are available via the destinations using the director. So, yeah, you actually have to move around to get to them. Let's see here. Daily heroic missions, weekly heroic strikes, and nightfall featured activities will be set beyond level 34. So those that are usually on your screen to the left whenever you go like world hopping, those are locked to you unless you buy Taken King and you're above level 34. Following Crucible modes will be available: Classic 3v3, Classic 6v6, and Classic Free-for-All. Now, for those who don't know, if you go on Destiny right now without the downloadable content, they're in about the center of the screen once you go to the Crucible and you get to choose your playlist thing. Well, now the classic parts have been shifted to the bottom of the screen. And basically the other part is just completely closed off unless you have the DLC. And the kicker here is, if you choose classic game modes, you don't get to choose if you want control or deathmatch. It's just a random thing. So if you go to your bounties and they give you the bounty, play in a control match and get kills and things. Well, you better hope that thing rolls and get you a control match, because I had to play at least 12 matches, and I finally got a control match in 6v6. So yeah, there's that. What else is on here? It says, Year 1 version of exotic weapons and armor will be available. Obviously, I did not mention Year 2. But then they go on to say, tower vendors will no longer sell Year 1 legendary items. Bounties that were part of Expansion 1 and 2 are no longer available. So remember the expansions that you paid $40 in total for? Well, now bounties for them don't exist at all. Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, and here is the biggest giant slap to your face if you do not have the Taken King. Legendary marks are not available to be earned. Yes. Now, for those who don't know, legendary marks they took away the Crucible marks and the Vanguard marks. Those were what was used to buy items and weaponry when you work up the right thing for your Vanguard or your faction, because you need a certain amount of Crucible points or Vanguard points to purchase things. Now they have completely got rid of those and replaced it with legendary marks. And then a bunch of people are like, how the hell do I get legendary marks? Well, here you go. They aren't available to be earned unless you have the Taken King. Because you get them from heroic missions, weekly heroics, nightfalls. You get them from those missions, which we can't play without the Taken King. So, notice how it says, players are not required to purchase the Taken King in order to continue playing. Well, yeah, you can continue playing. It's just, you're not playing a full game anymore. You're basically playing limited to 3 playlists. 3 playlists you have no choice over, and the armor that you have once you reach level 34, you can't get any exotic weapons. You can't buy anything from your faction because you don't have legendary marks. So the game is pretty much over for you. Buy it. Fuck you. Give us money. Give us money. We are Activision. So here's the line in the sand. So here's the line in the sand for us who've had Destiny since day 1. If the people listening to this video are anything like me, then they are completely hesitant to shell out the extra $40 for another possible letdown, even though it sounds like, of course, they've changed a lot for the Taken King. Either way, for those of us who have paid that $100 and got the 2 experience, I'm not even talking about the people in England and other places that are getting charged even more for everything. So yeah, sorry for those guys. They're even worse than us because of the pricing. So after getting the 2 expansions that I feel, and again, I'm going to use that loosely with the first 2 expansions. Taken King is definitely an expansion. No bones about that. So, what is... Oh my god, I can't even think about some of this kind of stuff. So, let's think of the Destiny players now. If you have never touched Destiny before, now is definitely a good time to leap into it, because this is the game that we were looking forward from day one. Because that's what it is. So if you're a new player, it is indeed a good time to hop in, because you will get everything that we probably expected. Us year one people are expecting, because it's easier to level up. You won't get as boned as hard as we were when we first started trying to play the slot machine of legendaries versus not. So, yeah. And of course, if you're watching this video and you're already the people who have already bought the expansion and are like having a blast and all that, well, of course you're not. You're gonna pay no mind to what I say. This is more for the people who are on the fence. Yeah, and by on the fence, I mean here's Bungie's line: either you buy it and you play the Taken King, or you don't and then you just quit. Because playing this game without the Taken King, it is not it's not cool. That's just cruel what they did. I mean, it is basically you either continue your journey and become legendary with your new parts of your Guardian, or nope, okay, you don't want to be a new Guardian, you don't want all this new cool stuff. Okay, here's 3 playlists that you can play in Crucible now. You don't get to choose if you want control. Yeah, have fun. So they have drawn the line in the sand, and it is up to you if you want to cross into the Taken King with the new and improved Dinklebot or Northbot, and see if that $40 is really worth it to you. Although now if you really think about it, you can save that $40. You can go and like get 20 more and tax, and then buy Fallout 4 that's coming out or something. I don't know. There's other stuff. But for those of you who enjoyed Destiny, it gets great. So Guardians, thank you for listening to this video. Follow me on Twitter at EasylyPlease23. Like and share the video if you liked what you're hearing from me, and I will be commenting on other things. Thank you for listening, and goodbye, Guardians.